Summary of Prometheus Bound by Aeschylus. On the very first scene of Prometheus Bound, Kratos and Bia, two of Zeus's servants, take an imprisoned Prometheus and a recalcitrant Hephaestus to the top of the Scythian mountains, which is the very boundary of Greek civilization. Zeus' will is in Kratos, and he lives to do what the king says. Taking on the form of Zeus's unbending power, he can't be stopped from his path. Bia also owes Zeus something and is the personification of Zeus's anger. Hephaestus is told by Kratos to bind the criminal to the rock face. Fire was Hephaestus' flower, and Prometheus stole it and gave it to people. Kratos tells Prometheus, this is the crime he must now pay. He must learn to love the tyranny of Zeus and quit his friendship with them. Herodotus doesn't want to tie Prometheus up. Hephaestus says that him and Prometheus are kin, and he doesn't have the courage to treat a god that way. But necessity compels him to it, so he has to tie Prometheus to the rock face. Hephaestus is forced by the same power that holds Prometheus captive, and he doesn't want to fight back. Hephaestus tells Prometheus as he starts to tie him up, no mortal voice or form will bring you comfort. He will be left outside to suffer in the weather. They tell Prometheus that his rescuer is not yet born, but that his sentence is the fruit of his kindness. Because he gave mortals honor above their due, Prometheus needs to pay Zeus back. Prometheus will be chained to the mountain until Zeus decides to free him. He must stay straight, not sleep, and never bend a knee. The god Kratos scolds Hephaestus for his foolish pity. He says that pity won't help Prometheus right now. Hephaestus is angry about his skill and linked to fire and wishes it were someone else's problem. Kratos tells Hephaestus, except for Zeus, there are no carefree gods. He is the only one who is free because he rules over us all. Hephaestus knows what's going on, but he's still hurt. As he finishes tying Prometheus, he says sorry. Kratos makes fun of Prometheus again as he and Bia get ready to leave with Hephaestus. If Prometheus is left alone, he cannot accept his lot. Now that he has given people fire and taught them every art and skill, with endless benefit, he has to live on the mountain, where only bad things will happen to him. A sound can be heard far away by Prometheus. This is what Prometheus says, I fear it. The play's chorus, the daughters of Okeanos, show up all of a sudden in a winged chariot. They understand how hard things are for Prometheus and have come to show their support. What god, what creature, would be so heartless as to enjoy this? The women inquire. Prometheus tells them that Zeus really did order his pain and confinement, and the women are excited to hear his story. In the early days of the Battle of the Titans, Prometheus stood with Kronos and the Titans, which he tells the women. He was able to see into the future because of his mother, Themis. He knew that the fight would be won by those with superior guile, not might. Kronos and the others, on the other hand, wouldn't listen to Prometheus. Instead, they relied on their own strength and power. Then Prometheus joined forces with Zeus to fight the Titans. Zeus beat them and sent them to Tartaros. As soon as Zeus became king, he planned to evict all humans. But Prometheus gave them fire and blind hopes to live as their companions, which kept them from being scattered into Hades. Soon, Okeanos shows up on the back of a horse with wings. He has come to help Prometheus and is ready to make a case to Zeus for Prometheus. He tells Prometheus not to say bad things about Zeus because the god might hear him and make even more trouble. He's thankful for his company, but Prometheus begs him to leave so he doesn't get in trouble. He tells Okeanos about Atlas' punishment, which is to carry the weight of heaven and earth on his back, and about Typhon, the snake-like monster that Zeus buried deep under the mountain of Etna. Okeanos agrees, but not without a fight, and goes back home. Prometheus continues his story for the chorus. He also gave people science, literature, architecture, and medicine. He says, all human arts were founded by Prometheus. Io shows up out of the blue while Prometheus is telling his story. What kind of land is this? Io talks. Zeus turned her into a cow and sent her wandering the land with no purpose, while a biting gadfly chased her all the time. She has no idea who Prometheus is, but she hopes he can tell her when her pain will end. It's him telling her that she will be unhappy for the rest of her life because he is Prometheus, the god who gave people fire. With his knowledge of the future, Prometheus tells Io all the bad things that will happen to her while she is wandering and warns her of the trouble she is about to face. After telling her to stay on the shoreline, he tells her to stay away from the wild animals she meets along the way. She will wander all over Europe until she gets to Asia, where she will give birth to a child. This child's heir will free Prometheus from his chains and take over Zeus' power. Io screams when the gadfly starts to bite her, which forces her to keep walking. Hermes, Zeus's son and the servant of the gods, comes in as Io leaves. Zeus heard Prometheus on the phone and wants to know what he knows. Prometheus refuses to tell Hermes about Zeus's planned marriage and son, even though Hermes tells him to. The word arrogance is what Hermes says shuts Prometheus up. They tell Prometheus that if he doesn't speak, he will face a threefold tidal wave of misery. He'll stay on the rock until Zeus hits it and buries Prometheus in the ground. Then Zeus's winged hound, a scarlet eagle, will eat Prometheus' liver every day until another god steps up and takes his place. Prometheus is still not giving in. Prometheus says, "I'll say it straight out. I hate all the gods because they punish good with bad and right with wrong." Herod leaves Prometheus with the crowd, and Prometheus can feel bad things coming his way. Prometheus cries, "O holy Mother Earth, O sky whose light rolls for all, you see me. You see the wrongs I have to go through."
About the author. Aeschylus was born in Eleusis, Greece, and grew up during the Golden Age of Athens. In 490 BCE, he fought against the Persians at the Battle of Marathon. Before this, around 500 BCE, he started writing plays, and by 484 he had won first prize at the Dionysia, which was Greece's most important event for tragic plays and a huge honor for a Greek dramatist. Aeschylus wrote more than 90 plays, but only 7 of them are still around today. He went on to win first prize in the Dionysia 12 more times. The Orestia trilogy was some of his most recent and best work. He had such a big impact on Greek theater that Aristophanes, in his comedy Play the Frogs, which was written in 405 BCE, called Aeschylus the best poet the world had ever seen.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.